church folk, y'all have a problem with me cursing or how I say stuff, I don't know what to tell you. Go talk to God. Because on here, I'm going to say what the fuck I'm going to say. Everybody clear on this shit. For those of y'all females that you used to being victims, you used to surfing the internet looking for things that explains that every man ain't shit, this is not the page for that, and no one's gonna give a fuck if you type your traumas on here. Most of what I talk about, it comes from studying psychology and reading books and understanding people. So you won't be able to comment on here and get your way into a space where I'm gonna give a fuck, or the people that's been following me gonna give a fuck. I'm just letting y'all know. Save your thumb power. I'm giving y'all a chance to swipe off. Leave. Go look at something else. Talk to God. Because, bitch, y'all know in my lives, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. That's just what it's going to be. Yeah, come in and sit y'all ass down and shut up. Otherwise, don't come in at all. Just know, I didn't ask you to come on here. If Facebook or Instagram alerted you, it's because you set your settings up that way or you chose to follow my page. I didn't ask you to. So anything I say that makes you feel some type of way, just know you signed up for that based on your choice to follow me. Y'all clear on this, right? So I got a Zoom tomorrow night on loyalty and trauma bonding. Those two topics go hand in hand. And for a lot of y'all, it's a real trigger, right? Just making sure y'all clear. Trauma bonding and loyalty. Trauma bonding and loyalty. I'm saying that because right now, if you're triggered, just get off. Trauma bonding and loyalty. Trauma bonding and loyalty. Robin says she's sticking around. Trauma bonding and loyalty. Y'all heard what I said? Everything beyond this point that you sit and listen to, it's a choice of yours. Trauma bonding and loyalty. Somebody tell me, come on with it. Save your thumb power. It ain't gonna work. Save your judgment of me, what you think. No one gives a fuck on this page. Maybe on another page they might. No one gives a fuck. Willie, what up? Trauma bonding and loyalty. There's a Zoom tomorrow night on this particular topic. For those of y'all that's mentally strong enough to get in it or want to do better, you know, you're welcome to text 678-965-0698 and get into it. The reason why I'm talking about this is because a lot of y'all write me, right? You write me on Instagram, you write me on Facebook, you ask me for advice. By the way, if you're looking for personal advice, you can just simply text 678-965-0698. Excuse me, and set up a one-on-one phone call where you can get direct, you know, communication between yourself and myself, right? But there's a lot of y'all that you think that the issue in your life or in your relationship is one thing, even with success, trying to grow, but it's another. A lot of y'all feel like you soul tied to somebody or you going through a toxic situation, but in all reality, you're trauma bonded and you don't have an understanding for what loyalty is. A lot of y'all got a false sense of loyalty and you have a trauma and things that you have not healed from. So you carry that shit with you and it affects your relationships with people. The reason why a lot of y'all are dealing with certain people, it's not pure, organic, practical reasons. Y'all understand that so far? Let me just read y'all something, because I know some of y'all, you get on here and you be so lost. So for those of y'all that you're not familiar with trauma bonding, right? I'm going to read y'all something. Trauma bonding is a compulsive cycle of wanting to please a partner to avoid setting them off, right? The idea is when you're in a relationship, the same person that's hurting you, you're waking up living to please that person. The same situations, the same choices that are harming you, that are keeping you in a survival season or in a very sensitive emotional state, you have a sense of loyalty to those things. So in essence, you are loyal to hurting yourself. You are loyal to confusion. You are loyal to chaos. You are loyal to trauma. Y'all understand what I'm explaining? Anybody don't understand this? Because for some of y'all, this gonna bother y'all. A lot of y'all really believe the stuff y'all going through is someone else's fault. Everybody clear on this? I'm gonna read it again. Trauma bonding looks like a compulsive cycle of wanting to please your partner to avoid setting them off, followed by an incident of physical, verbal, or emotional abuse, and then a honeymoon period where all seems well. I'm gonna say it again. A compulsive cycle of wanting to please your partner to avoid setting them off, followed by an incident of physical, verbal, or emotional abuse, and then a honeymoon period where all seems well. A lot of y'all, you think you're in love. You think you in a strong bond. You are, but it's trauma. You are, but it's based on being loyal to your addiction to harming yourself. You are in a survival season. You're loyal to the idea of being fucked up. Because all the things that it takes to unfuck yourself up, you don't want to do none of that. Everybody clear on what I'm explaining? Because some of this stuff gonna hurt some of y'all. Because you really want it to be something else. A lot of y'all, you're not loyal, you're codependent. Your trauma has you codependent on people. Your trauma has you in a space where your life is in survival mode. Some of y'all, you so engulfed, you so deep in emotion that every day you bond to a person, people, or things based on how you feel. But it has nothing to do with your growth. It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with what you really want for yourself. Y'all understand what I'm explaining so far? Some of y'all, you loyal to bad habits. You loyal to bad people. You loyal to people that aren't good to you. You loyal to poor choices, meaning you'll make them and stand on them and follow through and support them, even after knowing they're bad. You'll run with that shit. You ever seen somebody, they know they fucked up, but they so fucking loyal in their eyes, they gonna follow through with the fucked up shit. So you loyal to the idea of sabotaging where your life at or keeping it fucked up where it's at. It's a lot of people on here got codependent personality disorders. I could go into a lot of other stuff. Y'all understand what I'm explaining so far? Anybody don't understand? Some of y'all don't realize, y'all know I be talking about survival season, right? And I be talking about having your basics together, and when you don't, you are operating through life trying to survive. There are a lot of y'all, your attachment style has you in a space where you gravitate towards people and you have a false sense of loyalty and you feel like they have some sort of loyalness to you, but it's really just them trying to survive. Some of y'all, you're that person. You're trying to survive. So your loyalty to people that can do stuff for you is based on your survival. It's not based on you understanding what's going on and dealing with them based on that. Some of y'all, you don't even have an understanding for why people are moving the way they moving or doing the stuff they doing. You just loyal to the idea of whatever you feel like you're going to get out of them, however you look from dealing with them. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining? Thank you, Cedric. You want some sort of award? It's definitely a survival season. If you ever meet people and everything is urgent, like everything is like a right now, I need it now, I need it now, meaning like they've jacked their life up to where deadlines are today, tomorrow. Like it's no time to really, you ever had somebody call you and they needed to borrow money right that second? Like there's no delay, there's no time for you to think about it. Like you have to give it or their life is gonna fall apart. Clear sign of a person being in survival season. Waiting to the last second to organize things because you can't think straight. Because most of the time, you're spending your life worrying about stuff that don't matter. Hold on, y'all. Everybody understand what I'm explaining? You ever meet them people, they always got to reschedule shit. Always. Never can make a commitment and stick to it. Y'all, a lot of times when y'all listen to my platform and you hear me talk about like your basics in survival season, you think about like somebody homeless or somebody with no car, somebody with no place to stay. But a person that cannot organize their time can't organize their thoughts. They can't organize their lifestyle. They can't organize their patterns. Y'all understand what I'm explaining? So it's always chaos. It's always bullshit. It's always stuff going on to where it is a hurriedness, a stressfulness. Yeah, he definitely got blocked. Everybody clear on this? I'm looking at y'all, how y'all looking at me? Hold on, y'all. Y'all so funny. Somebody said it's hard because you want companionship. Absolutely. But the real question is, do you want a healthy companionship or do you just want companionship? Most people don't realize they need some sort of healing or some sort of therapy in some way, shape, or form. Some of y'all, you in survival season because everything is a reaction. A lot of y'all ain't thought about this. When I be doing the Zoom on management of emotions, people that cannot manage their emotions, regardless of how much money they got, regardless of what it look like where they live, regardless of where they work, they are in a state of survival because they're constantly trying to maneuver past what they feel. Y'all understand what I'm explaining? This go for male or female. A lot of y'all, you thought survival season looked like no car or no place to live or not a certain amount of money. But some of y'all in survival mode because literally your life is based on you reacting to things. It's never responses, never thought through, never understanding. It's literally just walking around being triggered and reacting to that shit. And see, that's the thing. If you've never been given an example of healthy companionship, you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. It's definitely important to understand trauma bonding. Most people that feel like they in love or feel like they have a strong sense of loyalty to a person, it usually be unhealthy loyalty or a trauma bond. Most of the people that walk around feeling like, I don't understand why I can't leave this person alone, they don't understand themselves and they're emotionally tied to the other person based on trauma. There are psychological studies that show that, for one, people are more likely to bond with somebody based on dislikes and trauma over positive shit. So this is why you have to have a conscious mind on knowing what you deal with people for. Like, you friends with this person and why? What is that y'all have in common? Because most people, it's the things that they don't like, the people that they don't fuck with, that has them tightly bonded. Definitely codependency. Definitely trauma bonding. This is the thing about relationships also. Like for those of y'all that are stuck or you stay in relationships where you're not positive towards the other person and they're not, but you feel some sense of loyalty to the commitment that y'all don't really got, right? Hopefully that didn't go over some of y'all head. But the whole concept of trauma bonding is like a psychological response to abuse. Like there is the trauma bonding cycle, but just the idea of a trauma bond, it's like a psychological response to abuse. Meaning like you develop a stronger sense of loyalty or liking for your abuser. And see, this is the thing. When I say abuser, most people think about like somebody hitting them or punching them or, you know, getting beat up. But a lot of y'all don't understand. Most of the abuse y'all endure be mental. It don't be nobody touching y'all. No, nobody don't be physically bopping 90% of y'all upside the head, male or female. It be physical abuse, or I'm sorry, mental abuse, verbal abuse, male or female. Y'all understand what I'm explaining? Definitely can be from your parents. That's why I always talk about generational curses. 100%. 100%. Yep, it's similar to that. But the idea, this is the thing, the idea of a trauma bond, it occurs like when an abused person forms an unhealthy bond, like an unhealthy liking for the person that's like directly responsible for taking them through certain shit. Meaning like if you would just detach yourself from this, you wouldn't be going through that. It definitely spills over into your kids. A lot of y'all, the concept of codependency and, you know, trauma bonding with everybody in your life, it came from your parents and watching them trauma bond and attach themselves to people based on unhealthy attachment styles. I hope a lot of y'all understand what I'm explaining. It be, you know what, Will? It be insecurities, but it also be most people have became adults without having a rightful season of getting to know themselves. To even understand what insecurities are, what real self-esteem is, understanding healthy bonds and unhealthy bonds. Like most people don't have a clear understanding of what this is. This is why you see most people in situations where they think some sort of award is coming from struggle, but nobody's coming to save them. They think they're going to get something out of being a continuous victim to somebody else doing something to them that they're in control of stopping by getting out, walking away, redirecting their lifestyle, their thoughts, their listening patterns, their habits, their ways. A lot of y'all, the stuff that you're loyal to is the exact reason why you're still fucked up. And when I say fucked up, I don't mean just monetary or materialistic. A lot of y'all, you can have all the money in the world, and what's going on upstairs is going to forever keep you in a mental prison. You're going to forever trauma bond. You're going to forever have insecurities. You're going to forever go through life and look for the negative in everything that you see because your perspective is broken. Your mental is broken. Your ability to see the good in things, it's not there. A lot of y'all, you hear the concept manifesting. You don't actually understand it. And you don't realize every day you're manifesting negativity in your life based on what you look at, what you put your attention on, what you worry about. You gotta know yourself. You're 100% correct. If you don't, you will spend time where the world will run you. This is the thing about, I'll use social media for an example. People don't realize nowadays that, you know, not only can you utilize social media, you know, for your benefit with business and shit like that and socializing with other people, but also if you just watch, like how, for example, I have a ongoing attraction to the idea of understanding the way our mind works as human beings, right? I done read studies that's been posted in the New York Times. I done read so many psych books, like all kind of shit. But one of the best things I learned is how people project what's going on inside of them out into the world based on what they say, what they comment, what they like, what they dislike, what bothers them. Perfect example on Facebook. One guy hopped on here and immediately he wanted to point out the things that were supposedly wrong with me, right? These people are broken in their mind because what they see immediately goes towards the negative, and they will act like they can control it, but they can't. There was a study I read that was done on, I think it was done, I don't know if it was a Harvard study or what, I forget which particular what particular institution did the study, but it was done on, like, I want to say close to 10,000 people, right? But the concept was to see if they could control, you know, consciously control what their mindset goes to immediately, right? Meaning, like, you show them visuals or pictures, and the idea is to, you're being told in the study that we are asking you to look for the good things. Most of the people in the study, their mind went right to negative or shit that is seen as negative or unappealing, or it was hard to see the good. Like, they actually had to give a real effort to look at the shit and come out with something nice, which shows you what's going on with people. They were more attracted to what was unappealing or had more to say, or there's a certain sensory part of their brain that it was stimulated more by fuck shit basically than actually just smooth sailing, positive, nice things. It's very easy to just think negative. Exactly, 100%. It's basically, I'm gonna show you something and you tell me what you're getting from what you're seeing. This is honestly, when people ask me like, how you know so much? A lot of it comes from studies. Because once you really start to read and you see how, like, there are organizations and institutions that purposely sit and watch, like the same stuff I be sitting and watching, you get a clear picture. Most people, what they say they ain't worrying about, they worrying about. What they say they you know, they not bothered by, or what they not trying, they're bothered by it. It's a projection of what's going on inside. Definitely. The world is full of pessimistic people. This is why understanding trauma bonding and understanding what type of bonds you have with the people in your life is so important. Because this whole idea that the cup is half empty, because that's the viewpoint of most people as opposed to the cup being half full, you have to really ask yourself, what do I fuck with this person for? What do I fuck with that person for? What do they fuck with me for? What am I actually loyal to? Most people don't realize what's going on with them. knowledge definitely is power. The more you know, the more you grow. The more you understand self, the better. Even like on Facebook, y'all take Thad for example. If Thad is a male, usually when men act like that, they're lacking attention in their lives. And then people in general, when they get on things that they chose to get on, meaning you don't have to be here, and they immediately go towards stuff that they feel like is unappealing, something is broken in their mental, which is why they can't get right. Right? Because the idea is, if you are out and about, or if you're surfing the internet and you see something that you don't like, you have the ability to get off, go somewhere else, look at something different. You're not forced to sit here. So most people that they are invested, or they give that extra energy into something that does nothing for them, but is also negative, it's a direct reflection of what's going on within them. Then we are in 2021. There are men like that they have a curiosity for a different lane of their sexuality, but they have not had a chance to explore that. So they'll use the internet as a way to bash the things that they really want to explore. Because the average heterosexual man that has no issues with his own sexuality, he doesn't worry about why somebody's voice is deep like a man if they're a female. He doesn't worry about why this person is dressed in a dress when they're really a guy. They worry about their lives and their sexuality. People that are overly invested in the ways, the things that are going on with others, they have issues going on with themselves. But see, my platform is a free space for people to come on. You know, I don't welcome the negativity, but I do welcome when people like that come on and you actually want to explore your sexuality and stuff like that. People follow me that are transgender. People follow me that are gay. You know, people follow me that are, you know, whatever your preference is, they're on here, because I make my space open to where it doesn't matter your sexuality, doesn't matter your color, doesn't matter your religion, you know, any of that. It's a free space for you to be you and explore what you really want to explore. So Thad, if there are any people on here that want to kind of help Thad come out of whatever he in, whatever closet, you know, whatever rug, whatever, any of that stuff, like, feel free. You definitely, that's what I'm getting at. You have to be intentional about the good that you see in things. And then you got to ask yourself, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Some of us really got to spend more time doing that. Like, for example, with Thad, if I really was a transgender, it's not appropriate for you to ask someone that. Like, unless you're trying to sleep with them, it's not your business to get to the bottom of that. Right? So we have to ask ourselves, like, if you're in a space like that and you're wondering about what somebody else's gender is, you have to ask yourself, why do I care about that? Because the people don't seem to be leaving the live based on her voice being deep or her possibly being a transgender. But why am I so vested in that? What is it? What is wrong with me? What's going on with me? What is up with my life that I am so curious about this? This is why I say, if you're a full grown man and these are the things that, you know, your mind, you know, processes, you got to ask yourself, what areas have I not explored that my mind is telling me I want to explore? No, he actually a perfect example. It go along with the live. You got to ask yourself why you care about the things that you care about. No, this is the thing. Because people like to say that. Oh, no, she just nosy. Or I just want to know. Or girl, I was just asking. What comes out of people's mouths comes from what's going on up here, consciously or subconsciously. So you can go for that if you want to, but that is what people tell themselves to get off the hook. It's coming from somewhere. They want you to believe that it's not. Like, you ever seen somebody ask someone an intrusive or a personal question that really has nothing to do with them, and they want to write it off as, because people do this on my platform all the time. Well, it is a public platform and I was just commenting. You ain't got to get mad at my comment, but the idea is no one is mad. We're trying to help you understand there is something going on with you for you to care about the things that you care about. They definitely try to cover it up with those things. No, I'm just being nosy. No. There is either lack of things going on with you, or there is reasoning behind that question. Either way, you got an issue you need to work on. Because Chrissy, that ain't nosy. People want to be able to say that to get themselves off the hook. Like you ever see, because people do this with me. They'll come on my page, similar to Thad, say something, and then if I have time that day and I comment back, like then they turn into a victim. Because you know, when I say something, then all of y'all come behind it and you really start to look dumb. And then they will usually go to either the answer of, well, this is a public platform and you shouldn't have your page public if you don't want people to just say their opinion. Or they'll say something like, well, I was just asking, to try to like basically wipe it off the table as just, no, come on back. Bring it back on the table. Let's talk about your issues. Exactly, Will. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. There was a lady, I think it was like a week ago. It might have been I think it was like a week ago. She came on my page. I posted a picture after my live stream show. And it was a sexy picture. Like you could see my whole mid area, my cleavage, you know, my stomach, all of that. And then y'all know I have a nice shape, right? So she came on there and she was like, oh, I thought you talk about women like this. So never have I ever made a live about anything about how somebody looks or them posting sexy pictures or none of that. As y'all know, on top of a lot of stuff I do, I am a model, Instagram model, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, she made a completely untrue statement, right? So then me and a few of my followers on the live, we asked her like, you know, what are you talking about basically? Like she's never made a live. She's never talked about that. Please explain when you heard her bash or talk about women, right? She couldn't answer it. So she just kept going left. She just kept going left. And eventually it circled back around that we were doing something to her and she was just stating an opinion. But there is a difference between an opinion and you lying on somebody. And see, nowadays, people try to use a route out as that whole I'm nosy or this is just my opinion, when all reality, you got issues with yourself. You were triggered by the photo because of how good I looked based on your own personal insecurities, and it made you comment something negative, which most people do nowadays. And because you couldn't take it, you know, you acted on it with no self-control, reactions to things that are going on in life rather than responses, and then you didn't realize who I was. So it landed you in a space where she spent all day trying to defend a lie to thousands of people on a page. Some of y'all got to ask yourselves, why do I say the stuff that I say? Why do I ask the stuff that I ask? Why do I care about the things that I care about? Why am I following around or so strongly bonded to the people that I am bonded with? What am I doing in this situation? How did I get there? These are the things that y'all don't ask yourselves every day. You just go around watching other people and commenting based on unappealing things that you see in them, which will make you feel better about you not addressing the unappealing things about yourself. Definitely narcissistic behaviors. Definitely narcissistic personality disorder for some people. Definitely, you know, generational curses and childhood trauma that has not been addressed, and it manifests in your actions and your words as an adult. Somebody said, I have a friend like this, is draining. And I'm going to tell you, part of the reason why it be draining, because they will deny that anything is even going on. They will try to make you think that this is normal, that this is healthy, that this is appropriate. Walking around saying stuff about people that don't got nothing to do with them. Walking around worrying about the shortcomings and the, you know, the wrongs of other people. Always seeing the negative in stuff. Barely able to see life from a perspective of positive. And they will make you think it's nothing wrong, that this shit is normal. But see, when you raised off of survival, when you grew up in a household where you watched your parents trauma bond with other people, when you were raised in a space where there was not clear respect, you weren't able to express your feelings, you're not going to know how to manage them. You're not going to know how to actually get to know self based on a selfish season being okay. Like, these are the things that will have you as an adult in a space where you act like a child. You think like a child. You have an adolescent mindset, ways and shit that are not becoming of an adult. This is why some of y'all, you always have to remind somebody of how old you are, because they can't tell from your lifestyle. Definitely be a 10-year-old mindset at 44 will, and they have to keep reminding the person, I'm 44 years old. Bitch, stop playing with me. I'm 35 years old. If you were actually acting appropriately for your age, you would not have to remind people that you're of age. The thing is, you can be sad, you know, for the people that you care about that are like this, but they have to help themselves. This is the kind of shit that you have to understand. These are self issues. You can't fix them. They have to fix them. They definitely do. Now, you said some real ass shit. Steve said people talk the most shit about things they royally hate about themselves. Definitely, if a person have to keep going around, I'm a grown-ass man, I'm a grown-ass woman, you're not acting like one. You're not, because grown people don't have to tell people that. But see, the grown that y'all feel like is grown, it's not what's really grown. Y'all think material stuff and money and showing certain things about your lifestyle makes you grown or your age. No, management of emotions, personal accountability, building to grow in life, a positive mindset, having some sort of sense of self and spirituality. These are things that make you grown, mature. The stuff that the average person think make them grown is not. I'm gonna tell y'all something else, and I'm gonna talk about this in depth in my Zoom tomorrow night. The Zoom tomorrow night again is on loyalty and trauma bonds. But there are a lot of y'all as adults, you struggle to manage your emotions, male or female. So in relationships, you're continuously chasing this person because you're chasing the concept of trying to fix things within self by making the other person act a certain way. What I mean by that, for those of y'all that don't understand, is a lot of times you will have insecurities or things about yourself that you need to fix, whether you know it or not. And the way that you will make yourself feel like you're fixed, healed, or okay is if you can just get this other person to treat you a certain way. It will then justify that you don't have any issues. This is why a lot of y'all hang on to relationships that they're not really for you. This is why y'all go back and fuck people that have fucked you over. This is why y'all understanding of loyalty is blurred, because the idea is, if I can make this relationship work, then there's nothing wrong with me. If I can make him love me properly, then there's nothing wrong with me. If I can get her to do right by a nigga, then of course I'm a good nigga. Y'all use your bonds with other people to try to fix the traumas that are going on with you. And a lot of times that's what makes it a terrible trauma bond. I hope y'all really, you do it with friendships as well. This is why some of y'all, you friends with people that clearly the friendship is going nowhere. On both ends. Because y'all know I don't play that victim shit. It's never just one person's fault in any situation where more than one person is involved. Never. Never, because the door works for everybody. So the idea is, even in y'all friendships, you will sit around and you will try to save a friendship to where you are not fruitful to the other person and they aren't fruitful to you. Your growth has exceeded this friendship, and sometimes theirs has too, but yet y'all will still try to make this work to justify certain insecurities that supposedly aren't insecurities if you could simply just make this friendship last. This is why a lot of y'all struggle to get away from certain people. It's not the people. Y'all be on phone calls with me and you be talking about, well, I can't leave a nigga alone. I can't understand. And when I start to try to make you look inward, you want to keep talking about the dude or the female. But in all reality, if you look inward, you'll get a better understanding for why you can't let go. And then y'all raise y'all kids to be this way. You have children that they become upset and overly emotional when they can't get others to play with them the way they want or accept them the way they want to be. And instead of teaching them self-love, self-respect, self-worth, because it starts with self, you try to teach them how to maneuver through life to make people act the way they want to act, or find people that will act the way they want to act, instead of you becoming the person that you want to be to where you're good with no matter how people act. This is not what's being taught to children. They being taught to do the same shit y'all do. Seek justifications through relationships with others. Try to fulfill or fix insecurities without really fixing them, but just by masking them, showing that you're in a situation. I must be good because I got a lady. I must be good because I got a man. Where your man at? We definitely take broken and try to just add some condiments on top. Y'all take unhealed, unhealthy, overly emotional and just try to add a new nigga to that. And tell yourself it was the old nigga when it really be you. This is why some of y'all females, until you got on my page, you never thought it was you. You never felt like any part of the way shit went was you. It was all the other person. Some of y'all dudes, you the same way. It was all your baby mama. It was all the bitch fault. It was all these hoes. It was always them. And this is why you bringing broken survival mode in with the next bitch. New bitch, same issues. Same you issues because you're the same you. Some of y'all do it with the kids. You be in relationships. You're broken. You've been raising the children to be broken. The last relationship didn't work because not only are you broken, but your children are broken as well. They don't understand respect or manners or how to love self or how to abide by rules and be able to operate from a space that we're a family and we're a team. They don't understand that. So what do? You try to go get them a new dad without fixing the things that you fucking broke within them. Some of y'all dudes, you do the same thing. You have children that you're not raising, that you abandoned, that you don't pay anything towards their cost of living, nor do you contribute to them being a wiser adult as they grow. And guess what you do? You get rid of those kids, just get rid of them by making it seem like they don't exist or you don't have any responsibility. And you go get with a bitch and try to be a dad to a new group of kids that ain't even your children. And you somehow tell yourself that this means that you're a good dad or a good person or a good nigga because you abandoned the ones you made and went and found some new ones. Some of y'all, you go make some new ones and you become better to them, what you believe is better. But what makes you a better person? By abandoning responsibilities that you helped create and then go and try to make up by overdoing it with some other children and leaving the other ones to be broken and add to the broken people in this world. These are the things that y'all don't want to hear about. You won't like me after I say this stuff. You'll be like that. Oh, I'm a transgender, or my voice too deep, or why are y'all on here, or do I live in my car? Because your traumas are being triggered. You run from the real issues in hopes that you can make it look like you don't have issues. That is what most people are doing. That is why they're so vested and so loyal to certain situations that on the outside, it really don't make no sense. And on the inside, because you know, you on the outside looking in. No, bitch, if we was on the inside, it reads the same thing. You're trying to make this work when it's not actually working to make yourself feel like you don't need to do no work on yourself. These are the things that y'all don't want to hear. All it is trying to patch insecurities based on trauma bonding, which I'll be talking about tomorrow night in my Zoom. You can text 678-965-0698 because this is most definitely what's going on with a lot of y'all, older, younger, even teenagers. Definitely. Fat Smith, you're definitely correct. There are women that they are angry about certain stuff. So they raise angry children with the same fucked up mindset that they have. And then they try to go get them a new daddy or keep them away from men in general in hopes that they're still going to come out to be some sort of well-rounded individual. But how will you be well-rounded if you don't go around and experience different people? Have the children stuck up under them all their life, and all they know is your ways. And your ways are based on loyalty to trauma bonds and generational curses. There's a lot of women nowadays got heavy complaints about men, and they can't understand why so many men nowadays have female tendencies. And I'm not talking about no gay shit. I'm talking about literally decision-making, ways, thinking process, because they're being raised by women. Because it's a thing to keep them from dudes. Because your mama felt like niggas wasn't shit, so she kept you from your daddy. So you had a son and you keep him from his daddy. And he's gonna grow up and only seeing you problem solve, and you're a woman. Only seeing you and how you run a household, and you're a woman. Only seeing you and how you look at life, and he's gonna be a guy growing up viewing life from a woman's perspective unless he's exposed to how men operate. Grown men, positive men, successful men, men that are out of your category of niggas ain't shit. The number is 678-965-0698. Tomorrow night, I will be doing a Zoom on loyalty and trauma bonding. This is the part when older females get upset at me. She don't know what she talking about. This is when dudes that want to defend their mama come on. I was raised by a single mama, and you know, I ain't no man with no weight. But most people are not looking inward. So of course they're going to say, well, I don't have no whole ways or no female tendencies or no. But again, you don't know what you don't know. Meaning, if you haven't been around any grown, successful men and saw how they operate in a household, or how men who are self-sufficient make decisions without having to grab on a woman's fucking muumuu in order to be able to make choices in life or call their mama, you don't know how to do it. Same way as females. If you want to be a wife or a grown, mature woman that can manage her emotions and knows how to operate as a team and don't have that mentality of, I can do bad all by myself, when in all reality, the only reason you do good by yourself is because you don't know how to be a team player. And in order to not be one of those, you actually have to go get around some examples that are different than that, which you don't have. When I'm on one-on-one phone calls, when I'm in Zooms, hell, if I made a post and say, name a relationship in your life that was healthy, and you saw from both spaces a mature man and a mature woman making decisions and loving on one another, most of y'all, you don't have a couple in your life that you were closely around that you can say was an example to you. It take a man to make a man, 100%. (678-965-0698). Tomorrow night at 9:30, there's a Zoom on trauma bonding and loyalty. Because these are two things that either y'all got the wrong definition or you don't actually know about it. And this is the thing. You say you want to be a wife one day. You got to go get around people and get an understanding for how married people operate. Yes, there are plenty of grown men without holding on to the bottom fucking tip of a bitch moo before they make a decision. They can't, because Big Mama made all their choices for them. Their mother made the men that were raised by single moms and ended up in a space where I am a grown man and mature. They ended up either in college or out in life at a job somewhere. They were introduced to a grown man. So y'all can miss me with that, oh, I was only exposed to my single mama and I still grew up and knew how to be a man. That is untrue. You're lying. (678-965-0698). Trauma bonding and loyalty. Y'all make sure y'all text the number if you need a one-on-one or if you're trying to get in the Zoom.